For our lake house, we wanted to be able to take the party where we want, so we made a mobile bar. I started out with 3/4 inch plywood, marked it, and cut it down with my table saw. After almost breaking my phone and not being able to record anything, it was recovered and I got back to cutting. I drilled in a ton of pocket holes to be able to create the carcass. So I started assembling all the pieces using wood glue and pocket holes and secured this front piece onto the base, and then took 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood and secured them to the sides. So basically I have the base, 2 side panels in front, and this is 1/2 of the bar. And essentially it's a really unfinished cabinet box. I repeated this entire process to create the second half of the bar, and then I made these 1x2 supports that I secured to keep it square at the top, and it will also provide a platform for my countertops I'll build. Now that I had both structures built, both of the bases were ready for the caster wheels to be put on. I had them here temporarily on little dollies, but you're starting to see where we're going with this. So now once the caster wheels came in the mail, I got those and put them on all 4 corners of both of the structures, a total of 8. You can see I was getting really excited now, and then I went and bought some wood, ripped it down to create this shelf that I secured to both sides about 1/3 of the way down. Once that was attached, I then took another board and secured that with a piano hinge, creating a drop-down drawer front that could be open when in use and then secured with these slide hinges if moving around. Next, I added some really lightweight cedar planking to the sides and then moved on to my countertops. I ripped down this smooth melamine and then created a bulkier edge by ripping down 1.5-inch strips, secured it all together, and then did a rich stain on all of the cedar, and then moved on to fixing these countertops. I used platinum patch and then sanded it down once dry, painted it white, and we have countertops. Then I got your help to decide which type of tile I used, and here it is. I went with the Fiesta. And now that we're caught up to speed on how I created these, let's get to tiling, which is the best part. So I flipped both of my carcasses onto their sides, and then I wasn't positive on what type of pattern I wanted to do. So I decided to lay out a couple different ones and get my mom's opinion on which she liked best. So first I did just linear stripes alternating all 3 of the different colors, and it was both the laurel green, white, and terracotta. Originally, this was the option that I was planning on using, but I thought I would try out this offset pattern because it was more of like a party vibe. So we tried this, and between the 2, I ended up going with the surprising one of the offset pattern. So let me show you what I did to install.
So this is the material that I'm using. It's quad. They have an adhesive, they have sealants, but it is super, super sticky. I use it for the tile in my RVs, and it basically adheres it immediately. You have some definite wiggle room. Like you can see, I can still wiggle this around, but I'm gonna glue these down, and basically I just do a 1 bead of the adhesive and then press it down, and I'll probably wait a couple hours and then it'll be ready to go. So let's get this glued.
So this is the same method that I use when I am installing tile in my RVs. And the reason that I chose to do this was, 1, it was much quicker. I didn't have to mix any mortar. And because this is a mobile bar, I wanted to allow flex with movement. I didn't want to risk having to have it crack or dry out. So I ended up doing the quad the same as I do with my RVs. It's very fast, needs very minimal tools, and I stacked them right next to each other so that I could eliminate the need for having to grout. And here they are just flying up, but it looks so fun, so festive, and I cannot wait to create some drinks. So after I got this first one done, I let it dry overnight and then popped it up, and you got to listen to what my son says here. That's right. He said it looks awesome. So it's already a win in my book. But here it is. I then brought the countertops back in and placed them on top. And I made sure that when I built them, I left a little 1/2-inch gap at the top so that it would be snug on top of the tile once installed. So here you can kind of see my vision come to life. So at this point, I only had 1/2 of it done. So now I was moving on to the second half. Let me show you what I did.
Okay, so I have the first one completed, and since this is going to be 2 of these structures, I want to make sure the pattern lines up. So here's the other one ready to go. And the most important thing was to make sure that this pattern continued. So for this first one, it needs to be green, white, terracotta next. So I made sure I laid out the correct pattern. So green, white, terracotta. And then from there, I was able to, this next one will be white, terracotta, green, and so on. So I have the next 4 rows that I have all laid out already in the correct pattern so that I can just pull from it and glue them down. So we'll be able to just get this snake going.
This was the final stretch and I got it all completed, and I absolutely love how much color it brings to this space. This is the groove tile that is in my curated tile collection with Tile Club. I will link it down in the description below, but here is the final completed mobile bar. Absolutely love it. So perfect with the lake background setting, and you know that I went and started making a cocktail right away. Now remember, the opposite side of this bar is full of storage, so I can have all of the alcohol, ice chests, ice makers, everything stored down below when not in use, and it can be used as an island if we don't have it open to the 8-foot long bar. But until then, here's the first cocktail. Hope you enjoyed this, and cheers. See you next time.